In a magical world called Hulkinia at the Tristan Academy for Magicians, Louise Delavalier heads to class on her first day as a second-year student. Her teacher asks her to perform a simple spell, to change pebbles into brass, though her peers mock her with the nickname Zero. Soon as she casts the spell, the room explodes. Despite being from a famous magician family, Louise has a 0% success rate casting spells. On the day of the familiar summoning ceremony, Kirsch summons a fire salamander, Guiche summons Verdandi, a large mole, but Louise summons a human being, Saito Hiraga, from Tokyo, Japan, who cannot understand what Louise is saying. Louise is disappointed but cannot break the ritual's tradition, so she makes a contract with Saito by kissing him, and runes appear on his left hand. Louise tries to shut him up by performing a silence spell which backfires and allows Saito to speak and understand Louise's language. Saito thinks he has been kidnapped until he sees the two moons in the sky and realises he is in another world. Saito must now deal with being Louise's familiar, and he is often whipped for being disobedient. In the morning, Saito dresses Louise before they go to breakfast, where Saito only gets a piece of bread and meets a kind maid, Siesta. Unhappy with the arrogance of nobles, Saito mocks Guiche's two-timing nature, so Guiche challenges him to a duel. Despite being severely beaten up by Guiche's summoned brass golem, Saito refuses to back down. Impressed, Guiche tosses him a sword to give him a chance. The runes etched on Saito's hand begin to glow the moment he touches the sword, enhancing his strength and speed and giving him sword skills, and he easily defeats Guiche. However, he soon collapses after the fight from fatigue. Mr. Colbert and the headmaster Osmond suspect Saito may be a legendary familiar. With his victory over Guiche, Saito has become popular among commoners and several nobles. Siesta and the commoners, who now call him Our Sword, secretly feed Saito as Louise is withholding food as his new punishment. He also learns why people call her Zero. To add to his troubles, Kirsch, a noble from Germania, has chosen him as her next boyfriend. In a devious plan, she attempts to seduce him, although this fails when Louise finds out. After considering Saito's hidden talent with a sword, Louise drags him to town to buy him a sword. Kirsch matches Louise's gift with a more impressive sword, which causes more conflict between Saito and Louise. Louise's sword later reveals itself to be the talking sword Derflinger. Osmond continues his harassment of his secretary Longueville. Siesta is forced into the service of Count Mott to be his mistress. Disgusted by the lack of regard that nobles have for commoners, Saito tries his best to rescue her. They make a deal where Count Mott asks for a particular family heirloom book from a Germania family. Coincidentally, it is Kirsch's family, which was summoned from another world. Saito asks Kirsch for the book, but Kirsch wants him to date her. After refusing her demand, Saito attempts to take on Count Mott with Kirsch's expensive sword, but his runes do not activate as it is an ornamental sword not meant for combat, and he struggles to lift it. Louise and the others arrive just in time to prevent Saito from being executed. Kirsch agrees to give Count Mott the book in exchange for Siesta's freedom and forgiving Saito for his offence. Saito catches a glimpse of the heirloom book and is surprised to find that it is just an old porn magazine from Japan. After they return to the academy, Siesta kisses Saito on the cheek in thanks for his efforts. The exhibition of new familiars is a day away, and Louise is feeling rather depressed about it. Not only does Saito have nothing impressive to show, but this year the Princess of Tristan will be present, which makes the event even more important. As night approaches, desperation sets in as Saito is unable to produce an act worthy of praise. A visitor to Louise's room turns out to be Princess Henrietta herself, and she explains how she and Louise are childhood friends. The next day, Saito performs a weak sword-swinging demonstration only to be dragged off stage by Louise. They witness Fouquet the sculptor attempting to break into the school's treasure vault using an earth golem. Louise tries to stop her with her magic, but her blast misses the golem and hits the tower wall, breaching the magic barrier to the vault. Tabitha and her dragon familiar Silford fly in to help but are too late to prevent Fouquet from stealing the fabled Staff of Destruction and making her escape. Worried that the princess may be blamed for Fouquet's theft, Louise volunteers to go and catch her. Kirsch and Tabitha volunteer as well. They travel to the place of Fouquet's last sighting, escorted by Longueville. Kirsch, Tabitha, and Saito enter an empty house where Tabitha discovers the hidden Staff of Destruction. Fouquet's golem appears outside. Louise tries to fight the golem with some spells, but fails. As she is about to be crushed, Saito rushes in to save her. Her confidence broken, Louise breaks into tears. Saito is moved by this and attacks the golem himself as Silford rescues the nobles. He uses Kirsch's sword, but it breaks on contact with the golem. Derflinger calls on Saito to use him. Saito draws Derflinger, and the runes on his hands glow again. He is able to slash the golem's legs, but they reform themselves. Louise tries to help using the Staff of Destruction, which Saito recognises as an M72 rocket launcher, and with his rune-enabled abilities, he fires it at the golem and destroys it. In the aftermath, Longueville claims the staff and reveals herself to have been Fouquet all along. She engineered the scenario to discover how to use the staff. She tries to kill the students with the staff, but nothing happens, as rocket launchers are single-use weapons. Saito knocks Fouquet out. Later, Osman reveals that 30 years previously, he was fighting a monster when the man from another world, an American soldier from the Vietnam War, used one of 2 staffs to save his life. After the man died, Osmond buried the man and kept the remaining staff. The school later holds a ball to celebrate, where Louise asks Saito to dance with her and thanks him for saving her. Henrietta congratulates Louise for capturing Fouquet. She offers her hand to Saito, but Saito misunderstood and kisses her on the lips. Henrietta asks Louise and Saito to work undercover to determine if nobles are taking advantage of the commoners. Louise naively loses all of their money in a casino where she was hoping to increase their funds. Refusing to ask Henrietta for more money, Saito and Louise find work at a tavern called Charming Fairy Inn, run by Scarron and his daughter Jessica. Louise works as a waitress and Saito works as a dishwasher, where he is in close contact with Jessica, much to Louise's displeasure. Scarron holds a contest for the waitresses. Whoever gets the most tips gets a large reward, plus the chance to wear a special maid outfit. Louise is unable to earn any tips because of her temper until an arrogant noble enters the bar. After bringing him to justice, the noble runs off, but leaves a large bribe for Louise. The tip enables Louise to win the contest. Even though she and Saito now have to leave, Louise wears the special maid outfit, just for him.